Hello, 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 people. Let's have a quick word from the sponsors, and I'll come right back to you. Sorry about that. Hello, hello. As you come in, I want to get right started. Let me see here. I'm trying to make sure that this light is it, so I am not in the dark. Okay, I did charge up my lights like I was supposed to. Yes, I did. But this one, let me see. Let me see. Maybe, okay. I need to play around with this more. So, I hope everyone is fine. Hello, hello, hello. Remember, if you have not subscribed, please subscribe to the channel. It's free. I didn't put a charge on it. Okay, let's get into some tea. I don't want to call it tea. Let's get into some business, some community business. Now, I will post the link after I finish my discussion. And if you want to come on, you are welcome to come on the channel and discuss this with me. So the topic today is called All Frauds Are on the Docket. I'm going to show you some random pictures. I want some engagement. We have 10 people watching. There's only 6. Well, now there's 7 likes. Please get the likes up. And I want you to tell me what they have in common. I want you to tell me what they all have in common. Okay, so let's get some engagement going. Let's go. I'm going to show you some pictures. I need you to tell me what they have in common. Okay, for some reason, let me. To the stream. Now, I'm going to be looking over here in the chat. I want you to tell me what these people that you saw on the screen all have in common. Tell me what they have in, what you feel they have in common. I'll give you 5 more seconds. C. All right. So, this is my opinion. It may not be popular. I don't care. They are grifters. Grifters who were allowed to enter our community. They got themselves built up. And then they all showed who they really are. Okay? They all showed who they really are. So, and when I say our community, I mean the melanated community, us Black folks. Okay? So today we're going to put all of the frauds on the docket. And let's have a genuine, heartfelt discussion. As you all know, within our community, and this goes back into the early 1900s, okay? Especially in America. And you all may be able to resonate with this once I give this portion. We have a tendency that people who are even in our families that do egregious things to us as well as to our children will say something like, don't talk about it. If there's something going on in the Black church that is horrible, that's being predicated upon children, etc., we won't talk about it. We tend to try and sweep it under the rug and not address the real issue. And that particular person who's done whatever, we allow them to continue on. Whereas before, that didn't used to be the case. That was not always the case. We used to make people within the community get themselves together for the things that they perpetuated within our community. And somewhere we stopped. Even when you think about crimes that take place in the community. So community activism, community policing is not what it used to be. I don't know where the downturn came where we just stopped completely. Now, I do know what started all of this. Because we were so community driven, that posed a threat to systems that are in place. And so a lot of things within the community outside of our control, albeit government, caused a lot of things that we did within our own local communities. It caused that particular thing to be diminished, the demise of our community, activism, etc. But we have internal cancers that have always plagued us. But how did we deal with them? That is the thing. Or why did we allow them to continue egregious behavior and never say anything? Or never enact what some people may call street justice? There's something to be said, and as you know, I'm an advocate for street justice, okay? So you don't have to agree with it. It is what it is. But what some people typically do is just turn a cheek. Think of these stories like this. And some of these may have hit you all close to home. I know for myself, they hit me close to home personally. You may have someone in your family who is into illegal activity. Everyone in the family knows what this person does, he or she does, and no one does or says anything about it and continue to let them perpetuate their crimes on people that look like us. And so even if you were to ask them why you're doing stuff within your own community and not going outside of your community, you get a lot of backlash for that. You get a lot of backlash for that. People feel like that you're talking ill for such. So I'm not really caring, but even those family members that were doing those things and we kept our mouths shut, we were complicit. If you know that something is going on within your family, your local community, and especially if children are being harmed, and you sit idle and in solitude and quiet, you are just as complicit as the person who did the thing. It makes no difference, and it doesn't matter if you agree with it now. It is what it is. But the people who I showed you on those pictures, they all have been doing something within our community. We continue to allow them to get book deals. We continue to send money to their fundraising activities. All the while, they are continuing to scam your own. Just like in that show, American Greed. And don't come over here telling me why are we talking about us, because we do. hey, I'm going to be the one to say let's hold each other accountable because we have to do better. We have to do better for the benefit of one of our children. Do you want your children to perpetuate some of the things that they seen that their relatives doing? Of course you don't. Of course you don't. Of course you don't. However, the plague and the fix is in. I'm going to show this picture again and we're going to have a discussion. Let me show you this picture, okay? Here we go. And let's talk about it. Okay, here we go. Let me show. I think I have to remove myself. Okay, I had to get off the screen. I just got your message. I'm sorry. I had taken myself off so you could see the picture. Can you see me now? Can you hear me now? Okay. So, but the people on the screen, they were doing things to parishioners of their congregations, excluding the woman. The members knew about this stuff that went on for years. But because they loved a person who sat up high for so long, nothing was done until it was too late. After they had already damaged children. You know, there is an old, I think it came from a social worker. I think it came from a social worker. Something to the effect that those who are abused as children typically become abusers when they grow up. Now, I can say as a former school teacher, I saw all kinds of stuff, especially working with special education, deaf children. Because what you will find with deaf children is that because they have what we call an invisible disability, no one can see what's wrong with them. They're overlooked, even though they have issues within their personal lives with being abused, be it physically or sexually. I mean, I have my own story. I don't know if I've told this story before about a student that had come to me because the mother's boyfriend was jumping on her. He was beating her up. And it took her some time to tell me because I always treated my students as if they were my own children. And so she made me, because otherwise she wouldn't have confided everything in me, not agreed not to tell, although I could have lost my teaching license for that. I knew there was an end game. And so I kept her confidence. And then finally she says, I need you to do something. She came to me and she said, I need you to do something. because the mother's boyfriend had jumped on her so bad, and he had taken his nails and had dug into her skin, all into her little chest and stuff. And so I was on a mission that day. Well, if he had actually come outside, I probably would have ran him down with my car and would have ended him. That was what the intent was going to be. But I am, when I say that I am for children, I mean what I say. And I don't care if you're my own father. If I find that you are doing horrible things to children, you all can get it. Anybody can get it. Anybody. Because to take their innocence, destroy their adult lives, where they're going to have to be dealing with mental, psychological issues, emotional issues, etc., how is this going to be solved? And if the adage that the social workers say that if one is an abuser, is abused, they will become one, look what you are perpetuating into our society. The same thing. So when you have these particular folks who I just showed you, the congregations knew that they were doing things because people also in these churches, they gossip and they tell everything. But because these folks, especially Black women, are so in love with their pastors, they are willing to overlook a lot of stuff. They're willing to overlook a lot of stuff because they are so in love with a pastor who sits in a pulpit. That is just the craziest mess ever. That's crazy. You blindly following someone who is destroying children. You're blindly following someone that is destroying children. And if someone comes and says a person did X, Y, and Z to me, you keeping your mouth shut. A prime example is, look what was going on in the Catholic Church for years. That's still going on. That stuff is still going on to this day. It is still going on to this day. And when you think about how long it took for, let's say, the whistle to be blown, where all of these cases from 20 and 30 years of little boys worldwide that have been victims at the hands of predators, at the hands of malignant narcissists, at the hands of cretins and demagogues and and shaitan and all of these people, and you all still go to these institutions and you give them your money. So yes, you are still complicit. You're still complicit because the institution itself was upholding these people and just moving them around to different locations like on a freaking chessboard. But you kept giving your money. You know, we as a people, we really need to go and get therapy. You just really need to get you some therapy to get yourself clear. Recognize that I came from a dysfunctional family, a dysfunctional mother and a dysfunctional father. So when I listen to other people's dysfunction, I know what it looks like. Lived it, done it, been there, got the badge and the gold medal to match it. Okay? And so when I see children as well who have to live with adults' dysfunction, it hurts me because I was that kid. I was that kid. I was that child who, of course, being a child, you don't really know what to call that stuff. It doesn't matter if you're bright. You don't really know what to call that. But you know that whatever is going on is not sound, you know. So at the same time, our community is hell-bent on harboring, we're going to call them internal terrorists. I won't use the word domestic. They're going to be internal. Why? Because they're within our community. They're inside, an internal cancer. We let these people move about. You all give them your money. when you can do your own community activism. You know, I don't know if you all follow Mr. George Macon. If you don't, go and follow my brother. I think I may have actually gotten to his channel via Super Sly, if memory serves me correct. But I've been following him for quite some time because I've been following Sly for some time. But anyway, he is all about doing works within your community. Now, sure, he started up his own nonprofit to do what he's trying to do with urban nerds. But the point is that you don't have to go with these groups that are claiming that they're doing X, Y, and Z. When you find out you've been donating money, they're not even doing what they said they were going to do with the money. You don't have to put your money out there. You don't have to put your with these groups. Start up your own stuff. If you are a solid person and every time you go get involved with some organization, some group, and you see that they are not holding up the end of their bargain, holding up the end of the bargain, but they're taking funds, remove yourself and your money. Start up your own stuff. You start up your own stuff. And if you are solid too, people will follow you as well. But see, there's something, as I just said, we need some mental help. Because the point of the matter is that we do like a lot of salaciousness. A lot of salaciousness. And because we like a lot of salaciousness, we would rather go to that first than to support one another with doing what's right. And just because somebody is walking around being flashy with all this stuff, if they can't show you real deeds to X, Y, and Z and all this stuff that they have, stop putting your money in a bottomless pit. Stop it. You especially if you're a parent, you have to do better by your children, to be a better model and example of how to be, what not to fall into. When you see wrong, you point to the wrong. Because there's no way our community can grow and be successful if we continue to allow the people who are within the community to do us wrong. We can't. I'm going to give you another example. I'm sure you all seen the movie with Frank Lucas. Denzel Washington played him. I can't remember the name of the movie. But if you remember the scene where he was in a cafe, he got out, he was sitting with someone, he got up from the cafe, he walked down like half a block, talked to somebody that owed him money. The man was basically not feeling what he was saying. He immediately took out a pistol and capped him in broad daylight as people are walking the streets in Harlem. That's a problem. Even if he and the man had a disagreement, that's still a problem, community-wise. Needless to say, we have stuff like that happen all the time in our communities, and we sitting by not doing anything. Because maybe we are also getting some residuals of what they're doing. It's kind of like the mother who knows her son is a drug dealer, but he's breaking her off a little something, and so she says nothing. Same thing. And all of us, especially those blacks that come from America, we have someone, at least one person in our family that has been touched by substance abuse. But we did nothing. So you let the council start, the council was this small, and then it grew and grew and grew. It grew and grew and grew. And you've done nothing. You've done nothing but perpetuated the ill-gotten gains for mere pittance or at the sake of children. Who are you to do all that at the forsakenness of a child? That's insanity. Pure insanity. And you all let these people come into our communities and do all kinds of egregious stuff. And nothing happens. Nothing happens. Okay? So I say this to you, especially when you think about the craze that's happening right now. With the gentleman, and I had his picture on the first slide. I had his picture on the first slide. What is going on with him being a child predator? Child predator. But he was exposed years ago, and you all act like this is something new. It's nothing new. This is nothing new. This is nothing new. The people who've been around him all this time, I mean, we can use the same with R. Kelly. All of these adults around this man, knowing that something about him wasn't right. And then they saw things with their own eyes. And they let him continue to perpetuate abuse on children. And then you have women who would say, well, that girl was fast. I was fast. What's your point? So just because someone is maybe a little more hot in the pants, that means they deserve to have crimes perpetuated against them. Oh, okay. Because that's what you heard. That's what you heard the women say. You know, my sister Sherry always says I'm really hard on black women, and that basically I love the black men more. No, I don't hold it to be truth. However, what I do recognize is that sometimes, especially due to feminism, women typically are going to get on and be like, no, it's the girl, because they kind of identify with some of the stuff in themselves. But even if you do that, you cannot say that they deserve to get what they got. Even when this man went and married a black woman, a woman married him after it had already been proven that he had married a minor child. And then when she married him, she bore 3 children with him. She's part of the problem too. She's as equally culpable as the one who was doing the crime. And think about this. Every interview this woman has ever had, every interview, okay? No one has ever asked her directly, you knew this man married a 15-year-old. Why would you marry him and then bore his children? Now, one time I do recall her talking about, well, people don't see him the way I do. Girl, bye. What you saw was some money. But she said herself, she grew up in dysfunction. So you see how that cycle goes? That's a cycle. So because her home life was jacked up, and maybe she saw some dollar signs because she wanted to not be in that same predicament, let's say, as her mom, her grandmother, etc. She married and bore children with a man who she knows was a predator. Now that's sick. That's sick. And so the children she had with this man are going to have to suffer for the rest of their natural lives because their father is a plague on humanity. But we are harboring all kinds of, I'm going to call them internal fugitives. So, okay, you don't want to call the cops on your cousin. Why don't you and your other cousins get together and handle a little business? What's up with that? I'm just asking. Does that make me a hard person? Likely, but I'm fine with that. I'm fine with that. I'm fine with that. See, I'm okay with ending cancers. I'm okay with that. I don't care who. I'm fine with that. And at some point, as a community, we need to be fine with that. Again, as I said, we seem to have lost our way about all of this. When it comes to our children being preyed upon by cretins, people who have the tenacity to do all these things with grown women who would allow them to do it. But no, it's the children. It is the children. We have men that take our children. Our children are missing. And on missing persons reports and things. So, again, the persons who are perpetuating this, you all seen something in your community in these people. You've seen something, but you just didn't say anything. You just did not say anything. So you're guilty too. Now, I don't care if you like it or not. It is what it is. But if you're saying that you want things to get better, you have to change up your program. You cannot continue to do things the same way and think that you're going to get different results. I mean, this is not mathematics. Now, you know, when you do certain equations, whatever equations or math functions you do, depending on what it is, the answer will always be the same. Well, that's not the same. That's not going to happen in these kinds of situations. If you all continue to let these people do just horrible things to our community, where do you think our youth are going to be? Where do you think our youth are going to be? But so many of you adults and so many of you parents, you are failing your community children to this day because you are being complicit and silent by your non-actions. By your non-actions. Okay? So we got to do better. We should do better. We got to do better. We should do better. There is something to be said about all these women, all these men who are just destroying children. Because women do it too. But some of you folk think it's cute to see a older woman messing with a minor boy. That's not cute. It's the same. But you all want to take men to task when women do the same type of behaviors. Like, what planet are you on? I'm trying to understand. I want to attack this from a community perspective. With our community being so reckless and weak that we allow people to do things against the children who are supposed to look after us when we get into our serious golden years. How are we going to do that if our children are destroyed? If mentally they are not together? How are we going to do that? That mathematical equation won't work. That's zero. That's zero, Chief. And so all of these frauds, these grifters, stop giving your money to these people. Do that. You know, I find it real interesting how you could just go a stone's throw away from your local community, and depending on who occupies the community next to yours, how at times things are the same, being similar, and other times they are so different in how the communities take care of themselves. It could be one street over. We have gotten away from caring about one another because a sense of family is just gone. It has eroded in Western and American culture. The erosion is just like, man. So sure, you will be fighting to get that back. However, is it worth it to fight to get it back? Of course it is. But you folk need to do something about the internal cancers in your community. I don't care who they are. I'm gonna tell you something that I saw. Somebody sent this to me because they knew it was going to have me going. As you know, recently the New York governor resigned, Cuomo. Well, you know, his younger brother is a host on his own show on CNN. So last year, when some mess was going on, he had his brother on CNN for 11 times. Then when all this stuff started coming out about, he would never say anything negative about him. However, he was talking negative about other folks who were getting caught up in stuff. Okay. So people were looking at him sideways. Okay. So the video that was sent to me yesterday, he basically was at the end of his show and he was basically talking about why he was not speaking about his brother's situation. And you know what he said? See, he's a cancer. He's a demagogue. He all of that. And here's why. He said he cannot be objective when it comes to his family. First of all, you ain't a man then. So what you telling me is your kids could go do something egregious to someone else's child. And because it's your child, you can't be objective. What kind of cloud are we talking about here? But if it was vice versa, he would want the opposite parent to be objective. I'm like, am I in the twilight zone? You can be objective with everybody else's business, but you can't be objective when it comes to yours. If that ain't hypocrisy, I don't know what is. Have you ever seen some mothers that say, you know, I love my son, but I do not condone his behavior, et cetera, and they are really they stand in that. That's being objective. But this man say he cannot be objective because it's his family. He cannot be objective when it comes to his family. Mess. That's mess. So your family can do nasty stuff to people, but because that's your blood, oh, I got it. You know, my contention has always been loyalty makes you family. Blood makes you kin, but loyalty makes you family. Loyalty is your family. Now you be loyal, but you don't be stupid. Be loyal, but don't be stupid. Okay? I just find all this to be so crazy. The charge for you tonight is to not allow these grifters and these internal cancers remain into your community and continue to suck it dry with our children in any capacity. Do not allow them to suck it dry with financial schemes that you know will not get you ahead in your life as well as your fellow man's life. Don't let people who talk fast or come in with a three-piece suit on make you think that they are doing something special, because they're not. They're not doing anything different that you possibly couldn't do for yourself. Okay? So, yeah. But we have to get back to our own community. We it is imperative. That's one of the things that I just love too about being on our Kebulon. The sense of community is not like how it is for us, those of us that are in the West, because we are too busy trying to, do I want to say live? We're too busy trying to do just a host of things. And so we have just lost our way. We need to get back to loving one another. Doesn't Just because I love you doesn't mean I like everything that you do. You have to be able to be discerning and impartial about that. I was in a group here, and those of you who are in the chat who are watching, And I kept telling my sister, something's going on. You know how you have that feeling in your being? You can't identify what it is, but you know that something is not right. I knew something wasn't right. And then, of course, it got revealed to me because people are thinking that they're throwing me under the bus or talking. Baby, I walks it how I talks it, and I'm fearless. So you can tell on me, do whatever you need to do. I'm a firm believer in whatever will be, will be. Okay? So when people think that they are actually telling on me, no, I already knew something was going on because I had told my sister 2 months prior to it actually coming to a climax. Yep. I had already told her, I said, something's going on. And I just could not put my finger on what it was. I could not put my finger on what it was. And then I came back here. I actually made 2 videos. One is on private. But I made a video. I surely did. I made a video. And then I tried to help a community that needed some help from something that they had done to them. Needless to say, these people sent me. I'm gonna tell you how fake a bunch of you black folks are. It's getting ready to get real tonight. Because see, my works in my community, it's real. And I don't do stuff for accolades. That's not who I am. But here's what's interesting about these particular people. I end up myself getting a cease and desist. Now, you all know I live abroad, but I do own real estate. And so, yes, it was sent to a residence of mine. Now, let me tell you something. I don't live my life in fear. You can send me 400-500 of them. What? Now, I may not come on here and use my beautiful vernacular that I use when I'm writing daily. But as I told you yesterday, I have a way with my tongue. And so they sent this letter in the hopes of trying to scare me. I already told you I wasn't scared. I told you that before. And I told you I like to smoke. So what's funny about the letter, though, the people who sent the letter was from a law office full of them people, as my boy Sly say, them people. And it was Legal Shield. So you do all this talking about being down for black folks. Black this, black that, black, blackity, black, 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 and black, and black, and black. But what you do is have them people's law firm send me the most elementary cease and desist letter that my youngest godson, who is 7, could have written. The English vernacular was that of a 7-year-old. And it actually makes you wonder how these folks got their law license. They can't even write a brief. If you can't write a cease and desist letter, how are you writing briefs? But me, myself, and you all know I move in silence. Because I like to play funny games to get big prizes. See, I don't play stupid games to get stupid prizes, because that's what they're getting ready to get. Well, that's what they thought they were giving to me. Pardon me. That's what they thought they were giving to me. But see, I move in silence. But for these people to say that they are for the community and they are all about black folks, why did you go and get them people's law firm? You know, I only had them people's lawyer one time, the times that I've had to use an attorney. One time. Because I was in a rush and I needed a referral just like this. I didn't have any time to just really do a lot of research and get somebody. I was in a rush. I needed one immediately. And so a friend of mine gave me one that they had used for the same type of business that I needed one for. But it's funny. So when I talk about being good in your community, you need to be good in your community in all walks of life. Because it is ridiculous to sit by and let people who scam people that look like myself go and say nothing. That's not who I am. That's not who I am. And I'm not, you know, as I said before, on here, I have been scammed before. But I don't want you to go and get scammed by these same folks. So I'm looking out for my interests as well as yours. But some people don't care like that. But you can't be complicit in that. And I'm not going to be complicit watching more people get taken by somebody who I know is not solid. I'm just not going to do it. I'd rather lose my own 20,000 than to allow you to lose even $100. Most people don't think like that. Most people are so selfish. And I am a selfish person to a degree. But I'm not going to let you get scammed because I got scammed by being quiet. I'm not going to do that. I'm not. I am not. That is not who I am. So I got something to play for you all. And I hope that you enjoy it. Let's get it.
I don't fuck with you. You little stupid ass bitch, I ain't fucking with you.
What?
You little dumb ass bitch, I ain't fucking with you. I got a million trillion things that I'd rather fucking do.
Alright, fuck it. That's what we're doing? Alright.
Than to be fucking with you. Little stupid ass, I don't give a fuck, I don't give a fuck, I don't give a fuck, bitch. I don't give a fuck about you or anything that you do. Don't give a fuck about you or anything that you do. I heard you got a new man, I see you taking a pic. They ain't posted up, thinking that it's making me sick. But I see you calling, I've been making it quick. I'ma answer that shit like I don't fuck with you. You little stupid ass bitch, I ain't fucking with you. You little dumb ass bitch, I ain't fucking with you. I got a million trillion things that I'd rather fucking do.
Okay. Music stopped.
Than to be fucking with you.
Yep.
Little stupid ass, I don't give a fuck. I don't give a fuck.
Yeah.
I don't give a fuck, bitch.
Stop
I
the
don't
music.
give a fuck about you or anything that you do. Don't give a fuck about
Music
you or
stop.
anything that you do.
Okay.
Who's the loser now, Trisha? Bully this bitch.
How you like me now? Now, who wants to come on? Who wants to come on? Let me get the link. 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 Okay. Oh, the chat been going out. See, I had to not read the comments and things, not to get me off my square. So if you want to come on for a few, come on for a few. Let's have a honest discussion. OMG. 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 Listen, I know XDMC could actually love that when that came out. You were like, oh my God. Yes. Yeah. So all those counselors in your community, that's exactly what you tell them. Make you a little dance with it too. Make you a dance with it. Yeah. All of that. All of that. When everybody is at lunch, oh, hey, bro, listen, you got to do a live because we need to have some talk, my brother Nick. We need to do some talking around here. I know you're a businessman. Take this cake. You said you were listening. It's okay. King Kenyatta, listen here. This has nothing to do with culture vulturing. That's from a movie. Okay? That is from a movie. Which is why other people in here are laughing. They get it. Maybe you missed it. Maybe you missed the metaphor, how that's playing. It's very metaphorical. It's very metaphorical. Mr. Untouchable says funny. Yes, it is funny. Savvy Entrepreneur says LOL. But yes, we need to do better. As a whole, we need to do better. We need to do better for our community. That's just facts. Now, we need to do better. Okay. I had not even planned this. I actually had a release of a video tonight, but it will release tomorrow. This was just in my spirit about us in our community affairs and how we just continue to let these councils perpetuate our realm and do nothing about it. Time for you all to get some cojones and handle a little business. It's time. I know it's scary. I know it's scary. I know it. Hey, sister, I'm here. I am here, but I am genuine. You see, I am genuine in this plight for us. Because, honey, I love black people. You all just don't know, to a fault. I love you to a fault. You know how people talk about your Achilles heel? Yeah. You all are definitely my Achilles heel. Definitely. But I love us. I don't know what to say. So if you want to come on, hit the link. You know I won't be on long. I like to value your time. That's right. Mr. Untouchable. Hey, I'm moving. People just don't know. I move in silence for a reason. I'm like the silent killer. Isn't that what they say? High blood pressure is a silent killer. Isn't that what they say? So high blood pressure is sometimes. They say that's a silent killer because people don't know that they have it and then they end up, But hey, you get what I'm saying. It's not funny that people have it, but you got what I'm saying. Okay? You got what I'm saying. You got it. You know what's up. Yes. Okay. Yes. Well, if no one is come, let's see here. Still at work, but I have to. Of course, of course, of course, of course, Mr. Untouchable. Of course. Yes. So we're almost at the 60-minute mark. Yes, Lonnie Renee, you do have to move in silence. You don't tell people, you have to move in silence for a lot of reasons, especially when it pertains to certain things. You have to be very diabolical about. You have to be very diabolical about what you're putting out in terms of a lot of things. As I've said, people want me to come on here and I'm going to do a video about things that I don't like about Gunna, but mine's going to be funny. You all going to get to laughing about mine. You all are going to laugh. But people want you to come on here and just be egregious. And there's a way to do things as it pertains to saying what you like and dislike about things. I'm not coming on here. No. Now, if I decide to come on here and just be passive aggressive, that's a different story. Just like I just hit that video link on you. And we probably would go out with that video. Okay. Yes. 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 We probably would go out on that. Okay. Here's my bro. Let me add him to the stream first. All right.
How you doing, sister?
I am fine. Let me change the background here.
Oh yeah, I want my faces with them. I don't want nobody to think I'm mixed up in that mess. But
that's right.
I only have a few minutes, but I have to come on to say this. You mentioned that you move in silence and that you love our people to a fault. And I think from what I see and for our meetings that I've been in with you, just your content on YouTube alone, you're being very humble because you move in silence, but you share so much of yourself with us, to especially Ghana and your travels and what you speak on. And it's all real. It's all, you have to, as they say, young folks say, I guess everybody say now, you have the receipts for it. I, for one, appreciate your honesty. I, for one, know that if I was a betting man, I will bet that I will never see you as a subject of the Negropean.
No.
You know, that
I don't get down like that.
I would never see a video.
Well, you know what? I may be a subject if I clobber somebody over the head.
Yeah. But I definitely wanted to, and I also want to say quickly, too, when I was coming up, which was a while ago, in Bedford-Stuyvesant, we did have something called a community. And I do remember, and it's funny because I was talking to my daughters about this, because about how we never called the cops. Whenever we called 911, it was for medical. It was never for anything criminal, or but we handled our own business. And the Nation of Islam back then, if you did something in the community, especially to a woman or a child, they were coming after you. And it wasn't even just them. It was the black men, the uncles, the brothers on the street. And you can just go downstairs, go by any corner and say, hey, listen, so-and-so, this brother beat this woman, or this brother beat this child, or where they at? It was handled right then and then. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I don't see that anymore. No, I don't see that anymore at all. And it's because of the love that type of community have shown me is why I'm able to be here today and do the same thing. And that's the key. If they saved you, you need to go out and start doing some saving yourself. Totally
agree. Yeah. But we just have, I think part of it too is with us losing the plight of family, the black family.
Yes.
All this feminism, because they got women out here doing the devil's bidding.
Yeah.
Against our men, and y'all got to stop. you all have got to stop doing the work of others against our men. It's just the madness of it all.
Yep, absolutely, absolutely.
Because the disintegration, like you said, even when you were a kid, the disintegration, the decline is just like plummeting. And it went so fast. It didn't take any time because theoretically, you're still a young man. You're just not your younger self. But in terms of
Absolutely.
your number, yes.
And that's
So,
why I applaud you, what you do, what you say, and the fact that you work with children, because that's what I do in my way of giving back. It's been a little rough now that there's not in person, but I go to the career day. I go to the inner city schools and let them see what type of career that I have, and let them see it. It's that saying, you can't be it unless you see it. Let them, and I bring other Black professionals with me. And what I like what you said, you said something that said we are failing our community children, our children. That's right, they are our children. They are, all of them are my kids. They all are, and we got to look at it like that. So I go out there and let them know, hey, that drug dealing, that's that short money. Let me show you some long money. Let me show you how I'm living, what the same thing that you do on your videos and whatever. You show us how you living. If you want this life, I'm not selling it to you. That's what I like, how you approach it. If you want this life, I'm not selling it to you, but this is what I got, and I can tell you how to get it.
yes.
And it ain't no scam, and you're gonna have to put some work in. And some of that work is changing your behavior in your outlook. Because don't bring that foolishness over here.
Yes.
Yeah. I mean, I'm actually getting paid.
All it takes is a few people, and then things catch on. Like I was talking about with George Macon. I don't know if you've ever watched him, but you and him, he may be a little bit older than me. He may be, he may be a lot around the same age, but he does a lot of stuff in his community. And I mean, when he is on here talking about community and brothers need to be doing right with their communities, I mean, he holds them to task. Do you hear me? He holds them to task for that.
Yeah.
Yes, he does.
I'm actually being pinged to jump into my 2 o'clock, so I had to come on. I had to come on and say that because you're being humble. You're not, and that's okay. That's you. But hey, I love what you do. Keep doing it.
Thank you. Well, you have a good one. Right. I will bring our sister on. All right. Okay, hold on. Nick, what are you saying? Nick says, sir, XDMC, they are putting males, men in jail for doing what we used to do back in the day. And more often than not, Joecaster is the one. No, Nick, if you would see, I don't know at what point you came in. We're going to agree with you to that point. However, we still have to do our due diligence. Even with these counts, those people that are doing that, they are cancers and plagues. You have to take cancers and plagues and put them down. They need some medicine. How do you cure a plague?
Get rid of it. Yep. Take it out.
Better hear me. Hey, my sister.
Hello.
Talk to me.
How are you today?
I'm good.
Can you hear me okay?
Yes, I can.
All right. Just want to make sure my audio is good because I won't take a very long time either. I just wanted to be sure that we get rid of this idea of snitching and all of that. That was something that was given to us by somebody else, outsiders. That whole idea of snitching, snitches get stitches and all of that, it was given to us so that we would not take care of ourselves and so that we would let things snowball into avalanches. And it's really sad. I've always been told, you talk too much, and absolutely I do, because if I know something, I'm going to say something. And meanwhile, I'm like you. If someone tells me something in confidence, like the poor child that was, getting physically abused by the father, just beat, And so, but she asked for your confidence. So you said, okay, I won't say anything until I absolutely have to do something. I can hold water, sure. However, we just really have to be solution oriented. So it goes both ways. If you're not going to be the one to say something, then you also have to work on a solution somewhere, though. You can't sit by and do absolutely nothing. I understand that everybody doesn't want to be a martyr. We all love to hear the names of the martyrs and we love to tell their stories. We don't want to be that person, you know. So, okay, fine. However, aside from the martyrs, look at how many millions of people were out there with them that were doing something in the way of solution. So that's my take on it. You know, a lot of times we just talk. Well, this is a problem. That's a problem. Nope. I don't want to hear the word problem come out of our mouth unless we finish it with solution, unless we finish that sentence with, you know, this is a problem that these children are going home on the weekends and they're bored, and we don't finish it with, and, you know, there's something we can do about it. I can do this on Saturday mornings. Who can do something Saturday afternoons? Who's available to offer something Saturday evenings? Because then what happens is people will either shut up and just move out of the way, and they'll stop being a part of the problem, because typically those are the folks talking are the problem. They're part of it. They're perpetuating this stuff, you know. So either they're going to shut up and move away, or they're going to actually do something. And then they realize that, wow, there's a lot of work out here. They will stop talking about the people that are actually doing something, because they'll realize that every little bit counts. Whatever we're doing in the way of progress, it counts, but you got to be on the side of progression.
You know, it's true. And I guess just even for me, just like Mr. Untouchable says, you know, that criminal language, that coded language, it has become so indoctrinated into the new culture, because this is part of the new culture, not the old culture, the new culture. But the people that they should be telling on, they're not telling on.
Not at all.
And, you know, sometimes we have to also, of course, and sometimes, like my dad would always say, you know, that there's more than one way to skin a cat. And if you feel that something that you are doing, you cannot go and attack it head on. This thing in here called a brain, people have been getting set up and been having psychological warfare used on them since the beginning of time. Get some brains together. You all figure it out. Now Now we can have a private conversation about that, but, you know, and because I'm looking at Nick's comment, and he was saying what he was saying. What's also interesting, because he and Truth Teller and Sly, they had a live months back, and they were talking about how sometimes, you know, as older gentlemen, that even when they try to talk to young men about certain things, you know, they get pushed back themselves.
Yeah. And
so they'll look down upon it in that regard, in that way. And it's sad, and I recognize that, but see, that is a part of their freaking parents and the things within the subculture that's been perpetuated as well. You know, it's sad that you see some of these kids who behave as a reflection of their parents. Even when I taught school, I saw children in Detroit do all kind of stuff, and I mean, it used to bother me in my soul. And one of the elder teachers there, she said to me, you know, you cannot fight all of these fires. You're going to have to fight some and leave some others by the wayside. And I was like, no, these are our youth. I'm like, we can't. I don't want to lose anybody. You know, it's kind of like, I don't want to lose anybody. Kind of like in a war or something. You know, you don't want to lose a casualty. And she said, you're not going to be able to save everyone. You're going to have to pick which ones you want to save. And I just thought, oh my God, that is so terrible. That is so terrible to say about children. But I get what she was saying.
Can't save everybody.
You know, I may be up against a losing battle. But I just kept saying to her, no, they're children. You can't think like that.
Right.
But you see how your youth as well as your naivete, it plays and fosters into all of that as well, because you're thinking that not necessarily that you can save the world. I wasn't
But you
trying to
have
save the
high
world. I
hopes.
wanted to save the children.
Yep. You have high
You
hopes.
know,
You have very high hopes. I get it. And that's where, you know, when we're all doing something that's solution oriented, okay, you were trying, you might not be able to save what was going on in their homes, but you don't know the impact that you had on those children while they were there looking at you, the other teachers, watching the examples that you were giving. You never know. It might have had lifelong, impact in some way. So of course, you're not going to see the change, and that's the other part. Change is called change for a reason. Seasons come, and right now things are green here where I am. And even now, while everything is green, I see brown leaves on the ground. They've already started falling. So the change does not happen, overnight, where one day it's green, the next day it's brown. We got the fall colors that come in, and so it's gradual. And that's where we just have to definitely stay hopeful, because, as some of us get seasoned in life, we start to realize, like what you're saying, like, dang, was I just dumb to think, or just, naive or ignorant? What was it that I thought I could just change everything and make a difference? But then as we get older, we realize, like, oh, okay, things do change. It takes time, and you never know what impact you can make. But we also know that, look, you got to do something too. We have a lot of folks out here that are seeing what's going on. They're not saying anything about what's going on, and they're letting other people get duped. They're letting other people get hoodwinked, bamboozled, all those words, or they're a part of it themselves, like some of the examples that you gave. And that's the problem.
yeah,
The solution is, because I don't want to leave it with that's the problem. The solution is do something, y'all. Everybody, we all talking about each one teach one. Yeah, I need a rhyme for everybody do something, because that doesn't rhyme. But
think about it. Look, mull it over. When you come up with it, tell me so I can say it as well.
Yes. Okay.
Well, thank you. Yes. Well, thank you for coming on. I just want community.
Yes.
We need community. We need
Absolutely.
community. And get these counselors, get these adults who are perpetuating on our children. You need to get them up out of here. Get them up out of here. I mean, it's as simple as that.
Yep. Perpetuating on our children, on our grown folks. If they're wrong, they're wrong. And I'll leave with this. Maya Angelou, this is a paraphrase. She would say, right from wrong, just do right. So for those of us, look, those of us that are no longer young and dumb, you old enough to know right from wrong, just do right.
Exactly.
Thank you for having me.
I'll see you later. Thank you so much for coming on. Yes. All right, folks, that is the show. But I will leave you with a few questions that you can just ask yourself as well before I end the show, because I did not put my tickers up. All right. So the first one is, why do we allow cancers to remain in our community? Okay. Second one is, who is really advocating for our children? If you are allowing counselors to come into your community and to rail on our children, who's advocating for the children? Somebody has to advocate for the children. All right. And then the last one, which goes back to what our sister was saying, solutions to removing them from our realm. Now, I know that you folk don't like that, but hey, it is what it is. So Lizzabitty is going to take us out. You all have a good Thursday afternoon, wherever and whenever and howsoever you are, wherever you are. Okay? All right? All right? Oh, my sister Justine, you have got to come back and catch the video, because I got something good for you, sister. Yes, I do. Hey, keeping it tacky. How you doing, bro? Oh, I got something good for you, Justine. So, okay, I'm going to take us out. Here we go. Lizzabitty is out. I just served you some hot piping discussion. So let's have some popcorn now. Bye.